covered it like formally, so I'm gonna try to
Gentlemen, hey.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are checking up on the Ashtabula Towne Square Mall in Ashtabula, Ohio. This mall has been on the decline for several years, and I've done a couple videos documenting this place on the channel. However, it's been a couple years since I've been able to get a formal update at this mall. So, let's do a 2022 revisit of Ashtabula Towne Square and see how it's doing. To kick off the history, the Cafaro company wanted to build a mega 1 million square foot 6-anchor mall in the Ashtabula region, and they decided right off the corner of Route 11 in Edgewood Township would be perfect for the mall. Ashtabula Mall would originally open in 1992. Kmart would relocate from their existing pad down the street, whilst Dillard's, JCPenney, Farmore, Carlisle's, and Sears would join as anchors, along with 70 inline tenants in the 1 million square foot property. At the start, Ashtabula Towne Square would be going on strong. Farmore and Kmart were concept stores by the company, and the Kmart would later convert into a super Kmart. Even with its great lineup at the start, the mall would already be starting with struggles. Carlisle's would close in 1994, as well as Farmore closing in the mid to late 1990s. The Carlisle's space would later be converted to a Dillard's home store. Steve & Barry's would end up replacing Farmore in 2005. However, the Dillard's home and main store would end up closing in 2007 due to poor sales. Within this, Cafaro sold the mall to Cabot Investment Properties in 2008, which would rename the property to its current name, Ashtabula Towne Square. Since Ashtabula Towne Square's renaming happened, many shops have closed, including Old Navy, Spencer's Gifts, Claire's, Fashion Bug, Lane Bryant, Payless Shoe Source, Wendy's, GameStop, Mr. Hero, JB Robinson Jewelers, Ruby Tuesday, and several others. Stephen Barry's would end up filing for bankruptcy in 2009 and close all locations, including the Ashtabula Towne Square store. The mall would also lose Finish Line, King's Jewelers, and Zales in 2009, and Walden Books in 2010. 2011 would see Cabot Investment Properties LLC put Ashtabula Towne Square under foreclosure. 2012 would see Sears leave the Ashtabula Towne Square Mall, and the space would be reoccupied by university hospitals. 2014 would see Surefire Investment Group, a local group of investors from Ashtabula, acquire the mall. They would take ownership for 6 years, and during their time, they would focus more on making the mall a community gathering space, as many tenants would be leaving the mall around this time. Occupancy would dip fast, and in 2016, Super Kmart would announce their closure at Ashtabula Towne Square Mall, leaving JCPenney as the sole remaining anchor store. 2020 would be a pretty eventful year for the Ashtabula Towne Square Mall. At the beginning of the year, Surefire Group LLC would end up selling the mall to, you guessed it, Kohan Retail Investment Group for $10.2 million. At this point, the mall would really start falling apart. However, the pandemic would swoop in right after Kohan bought the property, and about a week before the mall shut down for the pandemic, I ended up taking my first visit to this mall. It definitely was dying at that point, but it definitely wasn't at its all-time worst. However, when I did take my first visit, stores were starting to shut down to prepare for the lockdown, and after everything reopened, JCPenney would file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and announce a list of store closures. The Ashtabula Towne Square location would be one of those to close, leaving Ashtabula Towne Square with no remaining anchor stores, with just Dunham's as a junior anchor and AMC theaters to fill in and help keep the mall afloat. At this point, Ashtabula Towne Square would be left with around 25 stores of the 70 available tenants. It is not doing well in this age, and a miracle needs to happen to keep this mall alive. However, with the way it's going, I honestly don't think it will last much longer, especially with Kohan Retail in ownership. So what are my thoughts on the Ashtabula Towne Square Mall? In my opinion, the design of this mall still lives up to the 90s, and as far as I'm aware, not much has been changed from the original design. This mall, even if it was updated, still honestly feels very cozy and is pretty cool. I love this cool lights on the ceiling and the different colored floor. Honestly, the huge skylight in the center court and the fountain up in the food court. This mall still has a lot of cool features. Honestly, even just sitting down and relaxing in the mall, I've came to this mall a couple times literally just to relax and just kind of walk around. It's a cool place. They have a bunch of cool local shops. It has one of the few Radio Shacks left, and occasionally I do purchase stuff at this Radio Shack. They have a very cool video game store in this mall that I really recommend going to, buy, sell, trade. Not been told to promote them, but honestly, it's a very cool store. I absolutely recommend a visit if you're into cool vintage video games and all kinds of video games, but they also have like CDs and stuff. But honestly, with Kohan Retail at the helm, the future is pretty hard to think of. I think they still try to use this place for some community events, but I feel like ever since Kohan got their hands on this mall, it's just been getting worse, and not much is left. The food court pretty much has nothing in it at this point, but there's only about 25 stores left of the 70, and I don't think this mall's really going to make it much longer, unless if somehow a miracle happens. They need to fill more of these anchor spaces in. Dillard's, JCPenney, and the Kmart still sit empty, as well as the old Steve & Barry's space. However, the Sears became a university hospital and a Planet Fitness. Filling in these anchors is a big thing that I think could potentially help this mall. However, honestly, who knows? With Kohan at the helm, it's very unknown, especially with Kohan's mixed bag of owning malls. They're a pretty sketchy company, and it's really hard to see what the future could bring in this mall. Now, before we conclude this video, I would like to take a walk through inside of the old Dillard's that has been closed since 2007. During the 2022 Halloween season, they have put a Spirit Halloween in the old Dillards at this mall, and that was one of the few things that made me strike in to revisit this place. When I tried to revisit here in 2021, I got kicked out for recording, and I wasn't really planning on making a comeback to do a video. However, I still occasionally come up here to just kind of relax and just walk around, occasionally shop at the video game store here. But I decided I was going to do a mall update. Since the Spirit was here in the old Dillards, I figured it was a good time to finally do an updated tour of this mall and show what it looks like now in 2022. It's been a couple years since I've done some decent coverage of this place. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I will leave you with the Spirit Halloween footage. If you are interested in more mall videos just like this one, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. If you want to see sneak peeks of future videos coming to the channel, be sure to follow my Instagram at Exploring Retails with Andrew. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone. Stay awesome and have a blessed day.